Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 87 of A Yank on the Footy. I'm Craig Wessels from Sandusky, Ohio, and I'm glad that you're listening. This is going to be a slightly different episode than most of the ones I've done recently. I not have a preview episode for you, but I do have what I consider to be significant news about the podcast. Great news, as a matter of fact. One, I did get a chance to visit on another podcast just recently. I did retweet about that uh, earlier today on Saturday on my Twitter account. But what I wanted to talk to you about today for just a few minutes before I wrap this up, because this is not going to be a long episode here. I wanted to let you know that today, and you may have noticed if you've looked on Twitter, because I adjusted the email address on Twitter, or at least a website on Twitter, I should say. My standalone web page for the podcast went live today. This has been something that I've been working on and planning on and trying to get up and running here for the last few months because I think it's going to be a great tool, a terrific resource for those of you who are listening to the podcast, those of you who I'm engaging with online, talking about footy and that type of things. It's not the just a list of episodes that come along with the Podbean app or something of that nature, or Buzzsprout or Anchor or whichever podcast host somebody happens to be using. This is its own website that and you can find it, and I'll put a link to it. It is a yankonthefooty.com. A yankonthefooty.com, all one word. So a yank on the footy is all one word, no spaces in there. And what this is it's going to have all of the episodes for the podcast there. It is going to have a mailing list, which is going to allow me then, similar to what I've done before, but it's built into the website now. So hopefully when people sign up, they'll go ahead and sign up on there, and it'll allow me to send episodes out to people as soon as they come out. It'll allow me to send out messages or links to the blog that is now on the website as well, where I can type out my thoughts and opinions and things outside of an actual episode of the podcast. And one of the other neat components of this is that there is a tab on the bottom in the right hand corner, a little red circle that has a voicemail apparatus that allows listeners or people who listen to the podcast or who like the podcast to come on and express their views. And it is set up for 1 minute and 20 seconds, so people can leave a 2-minute voicemail about their views on some issue that's going on in the game or what they thought about a recent episode, that sort of thing. And it's stuff that I can then, I believe, I haven't done it yet, but I think I can do this, where I can actually include that message right in an episode. So I can share your thoughts in an episode. So I'm going to definitely be taking advantage of this, wanting to hear opinions from those of you who are listening to the podcast, because I really want to know what you think. I want to know what you know. I want to know what your opinions are. Some of you I've spoken to, many of you have not had the opportunity to do so, but I'm looking forward to that. There's also the option for you to leave reviews directly on the podcast homepage now, if you will. All of the episodes will be there. They'll be linked in sequential order. I think they'll be easy to find. The show notes are there as well. They're going to be a little bit more organized. I think a little cleaner, easier to see than what we have previously had, where you've had to go into the actual document and read them there. Also, if you want to help out the podcast, there is a link to the Buy Me a Coffee page. It's up at the top of the page. There's also a link to the storefront for the podcast. If you're looking for some stickers or a t-shirt or something of that nature, it'll take you directly to the storefront page as well. And I have a couple, now that this is up and running, I have a couple of other great ideas for shirts that I'm going to be getting designed and getting posted pretty soon. And I think they're going to be ones that some people are really going to like. And I can't wait to get them out there, because they're, like I said, I think they're just some really cool designs that are going to be appealing to maybe a pretty wide swath of people who are listening to the podcast. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for me to grow with my audience, to be able to engage with them. This was a pretty significant investment to getting the podcast page up and running. Those of you who have helped out on the Buy Me a Coffee page, I truly appreciate your help. I'm also going to be upgrading here shortly to some different recording softwares, which will hopefully make the podcast sound even better than it does. And I know there are times where maybe the sound is not, the sound quality is not perfect or even remotely close to that. I know I had a live episode where we had a little bit of trouble with some of the background noise that was coming through with some of the people that I'd spoken to. So thrilled that they came on and they provided their opinion, but that was a little bit tough to clean up. I'm hoping that this new software will be able to allow to clean up some of those things and make the sound even better than it has been before. So I'm really looking at trying to grow this and get more interest in the podcast as well. So to me, this is going to be a great tool. Now, the Facebook page is still going to be up. I'm still going to be on Twitter. Again, this is one of the other neat things then. Whenever I post something on Twitter, even if you're not on Twitter, if you're only on Facebook or you're only on my email list, all of the things that I post on Twitter will show up in a feed off to the side of this page. So even if you don't have a Twitter account, you'll be able to see the different things that I've posted on Twitter in terms of my views on what I'm seeing in the games or however I've engaged with somebody online on Twitter, that sort of thing. And, like I said, I really think this is going to be a terrific tool. I hope you'll check it out. I hope you'll consider signing up on the email list that is there. Like I said, it's going to allow me to contact you, to send you the episodes when they come out, to send out new ideas or new things that are happening with the podcast, to hopefully engage with some of you to get you to come on the show as well. These last few weeks, while they've been very hectic, have been an absolute blast talking to people that quite frankly, if I was not doing this podcast, I would have never spoken to them. Okay? And I hope to meet some of these people someday. I hope to be able to make a trip to Australia and meet as many people. And quite frankly, I hope it's at a point in time where we're allowed to shake hands again. Because damn it, I like to shake hands with people. Okay? I'll bring the hand sanitizer or I'll buy some while I'm there. But hopefully someday I'm going to be able to make that happen. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to going and sitting down and watching several games of footy and just seeing the mammoth size of the MCG or the slightly narrower size of GMBHA Stadium, and hopefully get an opportunity to maybe make the trek to Adelaide or to Perth or up to Brisbane or Gold Coast to see some games in other stadiums, and of course I'm going to want to try to see some local footy as well to see how this works at the younger levels. That's just going to be, to me, just so exciting. Someday it's going to happen, but it may not be for a few years yet. But I'm really looking forward to it. But this website again, ayankathefooty.com with no spaces there, I think is a step that's going to help me connect with you, the listeners, much more than I have been able to before. I think it's going to allow you to engage with me. I mean, a lot of you email me quite frequently. This has a message board on there as well, so you can use it. You'll still be able to email me. The ayankonthefooty@gmail.com is still going to be up and running. The Facebook page is going to be there. Instagram's still going to be there. Like I said, Twitter still is going to be there. Yeah, I don't have TikTok or Snapchat or anything of that nature. I have not used those before. But I just thought this was the natural progression of steps to be taken to help bring the show closer to those of you who are listening, and to bring you closer to me as well, to try to bridge the gap of the Pacific Ocean, if you will. Okay, so this will be a great opportunity where if you got ideas for an episode, or you think you would be a great guest, or if you know somebody who'd be a great guest, you'll be able to provide that information. Or if you just got you have a rant about something. And again, I'm recording this on Saturday evening, Sunday morning. It's a little bit after midnight right now, so I just watched the Cats and Crows game earlier tonight because I'll be honest, I fell asleep a few minutes after it began last night. It had been an extraordinarily long day, and I woke up and I heard that they were down by 30 points, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and watch it without commercials tomorrow when I'm a little bit more awake. And I cannot do anything more than congratulate the Adelaide Crows for playing a phenomenal game. They played terrifically well. Yes, they got tired towards the end of the game, but they had done such a tremendous job building a significant lead and did everything they needed to do to win that game. So my hat's off to them. I hope the Cats figure some things out before this weekend coming up because they've got Brisbane coming to town who are also licking their wounds. Hat tip to the Sydney Swans. I've not watched that game yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. And I've mentioned a couple people on Facebook tonight. Who would have thought that the schedule makers, when they put together the fixture for this year, would have the game of the week in round two be at the SCG between the Adelaide Crows and the Sydney Swans. Two clubs that are coming off of what I think you would have to argue are significant upsets. Okay, so I don't want to get too much into the actual footy that's being played. I did watch also the Hawthorn and Essendon game, and wow, that was fantastic. Just seeing that battle go back and forth there. But I hope you'll check out the website, yankonthefooty.com. You can put in the www if you'd like to, but you don't have to. Just a yankonthefooty.com will take you there. It might actually put the www in for you once you've typed it in and you go to the web address. I've been tinkering with the different templates. I think I like the template that's there right now. I may adjust the fonts a little bit still, but stuff that's there is going to be there. It just may look a little bit different as I'm deciding what I think looks best, something that is more functional for me when I'm setting it up and when I'm editing, that sort of thing. But I think you're going to like it. I'm looking forward to engaging with you on there. I'm looking forward to getting the voicemails and the messages from people. I'm excited about it. I mean, I've been doing the podcast now for 14 months. This is my 87th episode. Well, probably closer to about 95 or 94 with my live episodes. But to me, this is almost like it's a rebirth of the podcast with this new avenue to get information out to you. Okay, I do have my first blog post up there, and again, this is for especially if you're new to the podcast. It'll tell you a little bit about how we got to where we were. It'll tell you a little bit about how the website is set up as well. But this is something that I'm going to be able to go ahead and express my views on a fairly regular basis. I can sit down at lunchtime at work, tap out a few notes on there, and engage with people on there. So, thanks for tuning in, folks. I appreciate it. Don't forget that we've got footy going on this weekend. We've got footy going on again next weekend. Last round of the AFLW before finals. Remember, you can reach me at yankonthefooty@gmail.com. You can also reach me on the message board at yankonthefooty.com as well. You can find me on Twitter at yank_on as well as on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, folks, great first round of footy going on right now. I know that St. Kilda and GWS are getting started here in just a couple of moments. I'll hopefully take a look at that one on Monday. I'm going to be heading to bed here in just a few minutes, however. But we're fans of our clubs. Some of us are not happy with the results of the first round. If you're a Brisbane supporter, if you're a Geelong supporter, you're certainly not happy. If you're a Carlton supporter, you've got maybe some mixed feelings because you had some things that went really well, but you still came up short against the defending premiers. If you're an Essendon supporter, you saw a club that scored a lot of points, but then the Hawks roared back in the second half. And I think, any Alistair Clarkson coached club is going to be tough to beat, even if it's one that is still looking at trying to grow the list and get the list some experience. And I'll talk about some of these as we look back at this week in an upcoming episode here. But it's a great first round, and we'll have to see what happens with Paddy Dangerfield, if he gets suspended or not, or if it's just a fine. I think hopefully the fact that he did not jump to make that contact works in his favor. Will he have a suspension? I have no idea. Maybe his name prevents that from happening, or maybe his name guarantees that it's happening. We shall see. So, we're in the midst of the 2021 season, folks, and thanks so much for tuning in. Please check out yankonthefooty.com. I think you'll like the website. Okay, I'd love to hear a voicemail from you. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what I should be doing as far as some episode ideas, and let me know what your thoughts are on the weekend. How did your club do? Tell us about it, because I'd love to include those. Who knows? Maybe we'll even have an entire episode of just your viewpoints on things. Okay, or if you have questions that you want to ask me, the email spreadsheet that people were signing up for before, I had a column there where people could ask questions. We could maybe do that exact same thing with this voicemail section as well. So hopefully you'll check it out. And folks, until next time, may your dribble kick never hit the post. I will catch you later. This has been episode number 87 of A Yank on the Footy. Don't forget that you can reach me at yank_on or to yankonthefooty@gmail.com. You can find everything you need for the podcast at yankonthefooty.com. I hope you'll check it out. I'm going to be going back also and making some revisions to show notes on older episodes to reflect the update of the website as well. So for people who go back and listen to older episodes, this will hopefully allow them to be directed towards this new website. So thanks for tuning in, folks. I appreciate it. Have a great, great week.